So as I trace my line over to follow the flute on the other side, the dark area up front, it's going to be lower. So what I'm going to have to do, we can't add wood, right? I'm going to have to cut this flute in to match the other side as much as possible. And then I'm going to have to lower this point up here, which will change my curve, which I'll have to cut in some more, and you know how it works. I deepened that flute quite a bit, and I did quite a bit of chisel work on it. Let me get you some shadow on that again, hopefully. It's a pretty nice flute, actually. It's going to be a pretty nice and sharp. There you go. When I block the light with my finger, you can see it pretty nicely. Sharp, man. You could cut yourself on that, and that's what's nice. Not rounded, blurred edges. Okay, I'm going to sign off and get to work. All right, fans of making wood chips. What did I do yesterday off camera? And what do I plan on doing today? We left off with me detailing the flute on the right hand side. I think, let me get some shadow here. Decent, it's turned out decently. If you see that pencil mark there, I want to take the flute up to that pencil mark because the other side looks more like that. And what's the saying? You can't put wood back on, you can take wood off. Let's get some shadow on that guy. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it in the video. I got too much light here, guys. There we go. There's still chisel marks around here, and that's okay. I'll blend those. I had a thought. Like I said, I take this thing up stairs with me out of the shop, and I had a thought of changing this line from here to here because I basically wanted to make the oval shape of the pistol grip cap, or the end of the pistol grip. I wanted to change it some, and changing it I wanted to take off that black area. I wanted to take that area out, and if I did that, I've mentioned this, I know before, that if I would do something like that, that I'd have to change that line. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I did the sketch on the other side as well, totally darkened it in. I don't know. One thing I will do before I make that decision, if you can see this line here, we're going to put a grip cap on it, right? Probably Osage orange grip cap now. So what I'm going to do this morning is disc this using a 12-inch disc sander, stationary power tool. I'm going to disc this area off up to that line, basically. I know I say enough things about CZ stock that I don't like. There's some things I like. I like the fact that the length of this, even though it's a youth model, the length of this pistol grip fits the hand rather nicely. I mean, I wouldn't want it any shorter, and I really wouldn't want it any longer, so I'm happy with the length of that. Personally, when I've designed a stock, I bring this more like straight down. This is not bad. This is relatively close to straight down. Mine would probably, the end of my pistol grip, if I were to have designed that stock, probably would have come out to the end of this lead holder here. So it would have been more straight, and that's okay. This one's fine. I don't like the ones that really angle back. I just don't like the way that puts my wrist and hand on the gun stock. Why I thought about doing this other than just that is this is a bulky area. This pistol grip is a bulky area. If I knocked that out, it would thin the profile of it, at least as you looked at the stock. Of course, I'd have to take this area and move it towards the pistol grip. So this whole black chunk would sort of come out. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I'm very pleased with how the point of the comb turned out. If you remember the last video, I talked about where on this side, the CZ stock guy had sanded this side considerably lower than he had this side. Well, I started, obviously there was already a flute here, so I started detailing the flute on the side where there was a flute before realizing that this area had to come down. Once I started the flute on the other side, I realized, if I'm going to make them similar, then this guy has to come down up here, which I did that. And I'm very happy with the way, if you recall, this whole area really sloped down, and I didn't like the looks of it. I would prefer it to be perfectly straight, but it's not bad. I don't think it's bad. So what I'm going to do off camera, like I said, I'm going to take this area where the grip cap would be, and I'm going to disc it flat. And probably, you know what I probably should do? Before I do that, I'm going to take, and I did not do this yesterday, which I said I was going to, I'm going to take these radiuses and blend them into this flat on both sides of the pistol grip. I should show that on camera because that's a particular use of the crossing file. And I want you guys to see how we use a crossing file in a curve such as a pistol grip. Is there anything else I want to go over? Not really, until I start cutting some wood on. Well, I did mention before this low spot. It's lower than I realized. So I think I'm going to take both sides of the buttstock here, take this whole plane, this here whole area, and taper it in, make it thinner. You know, rotate it basically, take a lot of that off. That way I will be able to work with this a little bit better, because like I said, it's deeper than I thought. Let's see if I can get a scale in here. It's I don't know that you can see it. I know that the angle I've got it that you can't see it, but it's a good 1/32 of an inch deep. That's considerable. That's considerable. So I'll do that probably off camera, and that will entail, like I said, bringing these whole planes down and blending this. This is going to be, I can keep this high. I don't want to take this too deep in here, but I can keep this area the high spot and pull it down back this way, which is probably what I'll do. When I come back on camera, I want to have a piece of the Osage orange for you so you can see that. It's pretty wood. Oh, another thing I saw last night is, in fact, I wrote a little note for myself. It says square. I know that's not going to be easy to see in this video, but instead of having a nice curve, boom, it's a fall off, it's a cliff. So that needs blended. It's like I said, sleeping on the thing, looking at it when you're not working on it, coming back to it, makes all the difference in the world. But that's where we're at, guys, girls. Anything else I want to do? Oh, I did order, being that we'll probably, well, almost definitely be staining it a different color. I did some research last night on the net, and a lot of guys with beechwood, I guess a lot of old military stocks were beechwood. a lot of guys use a leather dye. It starts with an F. I can't think of the name right now. But I ordered some of the dark walnut leather dye. And most of the people said to put a stain sealer, a Minwax stain sealer on the wood before you dye it. I ordered that as well. Luckily, when I did cut off the forend of the stock, I've got a piece of birch here, beechwood, always calling it birch, piece of beechwood I can sand and play with a little bit. So I can sand this off, the CZ factory finish, and start playing with my finishes, my stains a little bit. I'm going to try the red stain. I mean, I'm going to keep probably up here. Let me get my lead holder, probably up here. It looks like there's some stain that's deep into the grain. You know, reading about this stuff now, I wonder if CZ used a dye or if they used a water stain. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there's stain in the finish they used as well to even everything out. I've done that myself. Not on guns, I've done it on other wood projects. I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that. We'll see what happens. The little test piece here I can play around with. Unfortunately, my vacation's ending in less than a week now, and I had planned on getting this project done during my vacation. I had 23 days off. Well, thanks to FedEx taking forever to deliver my video lights, I'm running out of time. Yes, I can do this on my weekends, but my weekends are pretty full as it is. I can do some after work, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, guys, we'll get there. I'm very anxious to get there, very excited to get there. I think it's turning out very nicely. And that's about it for right now. See you shortly. All right, I'm back. And what we're going to do, as we spoke the last time, I'm going to take that, let's call it a square edge, flat, tight radius. It's a tight little radius, but I want this whole thing to be one curve, not a flat and a curve and flat. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my Blue Dan number 3 rasp. Now this is where why I wanted you guys to see this part on the pistol grip. This is the same thing if you'd be doing handgun grips. Your file work's going to be the same type. Not this. I mean, you're almost straight up and down. Almost straight up and down. What that avoids is little ripples across the pistol grip or the handgun grips. Because believe me, I've seen them. Need I say it again? Forward and sideways movement. What I'm doing is, and I'm looking at the end of the grip cap here. Well, there's no grip cap there yet. The end of the pistol grip, where the grip cap's going to be. I'm looking at it so that I can watch that radius develop. Just shifted to the flat side of the file because I'm working on that curve right now. I'm going to switch already to a crossing file. Not much work to do here. I mean, it's not like it was horrible or anything. It just was not the way I would have done it or the way I wanted it to be done. You know, I really maybe it has sounded like I've ripped on the CZ factory. Not really. You know, I know that these things, you got to get them, you got to make profit. And it's not like the old days where you have people sitting in a factory like they used to do hand checkering. You know, no machine checkering nowadays. I believe CZ does laser checkering. I'm pretty sure. Don't hold me to that. But back in the day, from what I understand, it was mostly women who did the checkering because they're more of a patient lot than men. If you know what chasing is in metalwork, a lot of women did chasing as well. It's very tedious, I love chasing though. Maybe someday we'll do a video on that, on some chasing. It would be a slow one. You make your own tools if you know what you're doing in chasing. Alright, I mean they're simple. It's not like you're making a pair of pliers or anything. Okay, notice that, like I said, almost straight up and down. I don't even want to act, well, I'll act like I'm doing it, but even if you do this, yeah, not bad, you can get away with that, but this avoids those ripples altogether. That's all there is to it. That is pretty much done. Let me rotate this around a little bit, and you can see the end of the pistol grip where, where's my trusty lead holder? There it is. Where you can see this is radius still here, flat radius, where this is blended down into a radius the whole way. I don't want to try to work on this other side. You saw what I've done. It's very easy. It's relatively simple. So I'm not going to try to get my body in the right position to do that with the camera rolling. Let me show you though. I did talk about Osage orange, using Osage orange for my grip cap and fore-end tip if I have to stain the stock maple, walnut. Here's a piece of Osage orange. Let me put a little alcohol on there to pop that grain up a little bit. Wipe it off here. Very pretty. Against, well, and there you go. It is against a walnut color. Very pretty. I'm not sure how it does with age. I think I'll probably seal this gun stock when I'm done, since I've got a contrasting fore-end tip and grip cap. I'll probably seal it with a coat or two of urethane. I prefer oil finishes, and that's probably what I will put on top of the urethane. But yeah, I'm pleased with that grain. And once you sand this, there's a little bit of like shininess to parts of the grain when I've worked it before. I've not worked much of it, but I think that's it for this clip. I taped the trigger in case I hit it. I'll tell you what, I can do this other side. I'll do it this way. Okay. Instead of working from the top. Now the bad thing is I'm not looking at the end, so I won't be able to see as good. In fact, I'll just start it here. I'll finish it. I don't want to mess something up just so that I can video it for you guys. I'd rather do it right and show it to you after. But you can see we're getting there. You can see where it's light, just like we talked about before. Alright, I'm happy with everything CZ did forward to here. I really am. Tell you what. Let's see here. See if I'm not blocking the light here. Pretty much am, yeah. That's it. I'm not going to, I'll work on it. What I was going to do was flatten this a little bit for you. I mean, that's a nice curve. They had a nice little curve on there. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But like I said earlier, we're going to take a lot of this off so that we can fit a grip cap, pistol grip cap. So I guess that's about it for this clip. Too bad I can't say any questions, although I can. If you've got any questions, I'll try to answer them. You can put them down below and I'll try to answer them or address them in another video. I see, I'm not sure how many videos I'm going to have on this. We're getting close to having all this work done. I'll do fitting the cap, fitting the tip, and then it's sanding and finishing. I'll do a sanding video. It'll be very short. I mean, how complicated is that? And I'll do a little bit of finishing. Might even strip the stock, video stripping stock. I don't know. Whatever. That's simple as well. All right, guys, girls. That's it for now.